So let's move on to section 3, that is Lean Six Sigma belt system. So understanding the belt system is very important to understand that what are the roles and responsibilities of various people in the team, like organization, what they are supposed to do, because every time I talk about Lean or Six Sigma, I say that each one in the organization has to participate in the initiative, right? So let's try and understand this concept. So when organizations continuously aim to maximize resources to fullest extent and in turn streamline processes to improve quality, efficiency and performance, all this has been done using techniques like Lean Six Sigma. So this is very basic thing we have been talking about since we have started this course. And the primary goal of Lean Six Sigma is to streamline business processes so that we can just eliminate defects, variation and waste in our products and services. This is also very simple point to understand. So though Lean and Six Sigma use problem solving tools, advanced analytics and statistic methodology to improve quality, though these tools and techniques are important, but success of the project depends upon the people involved. Now this we just talked earlier, I think so in the last section, that though it's very important that yes, Lean and Six Sigma depend upon that how you are implementing the tools and techniques, how you are using them, the success of the project depends upon them. But more important is the people who are using those tools and techniques, whether they have the knowledge of the tools or techniques, whether they can use them correctly or not. Then to understand Lean Six Sigma, it is better to understand its ranking system. That is how officials in the organization are ranked according to the Lean Six Sigma system. So belt levels in Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma are similar to the belt rankings awarded in the martial arts. Like in martial arts, we have white belts, and we have green belts, and then we have black belts who know who are experts. In same way, this have been just this ranking system has been borrowed actually from the martial arts. Okay. So belts are titles awarded to practitioners based on their, now how do you know that which person in the organization is a black belt, he is a green belt, he is a yellow, he is master black belt or he is a white belt? How do we decide that? Okay. So this is based on their skill, experience, knowledge and training principles in Lean Six Sigma. And to understand how employee strength and skills can be applied in Lean Six Sigma project, it's helpful to understand what each belt signifies. So this is just a basic thing. I'll just talk about all the belts in detail, that what are their jobs and responsibilities. So what you need to understand is Lean Six Sigma professionals exist at every level, each with a different role to play. Now we know that when we talk about Lean organization or a Six Sigma organization, so we say that initiatives are successful, that from top management to the frontline workers, everyone is involved in this initiative, right? So this means each one has a role to play, and what roles they play and what is their efficiency level, we can understand this when we understand the ranking system. So in short, at project level, there are black belts, master black belts, green belts, yellow belts and white belts. These people conduct projects and implement improvements. Fine, clear? So here I have just written about all the belts, they are just in a random order, and I have just given you a brief so that you have a basic picture that okay, what does these belts mean, and then we will take each one in detail. So the black belts lead problem solving projects, train and coach project teams. So this is what actually black belts do. And then green belts assist with data collection and analysis for black belts, and they also lead green belt projects or teams. Fine. Then master black belts, they are the trainers and coaches, they train and coach black belts and green belts function towards developing key metrics, that what would be the key measurement systems which would be used to benchmark the processes, benchmark our services, and what would be the strategic direction where we need to go, where we need to take the project to. They act as an organization's Lean Six Sigma technologist and internal consultant. Then the yellow belts, they participate as project team members, because ultimately when the black belts will make a project, they will improve a project, or the green belts will work on a project, they will put it, they'll improve it, they'll put it in a control phase. So they will ultimately give it to the low frontline workers who actually implement the processes. So they are the people who participate as project team members, review process improvements that support the project. And finally, the white belts can work on the local problem solving teams that support overall projects. That's why in white belt we teach about 7 quality tools, we talk about PDCA, continuous improvement, 5S system and many other tools, so that they can work on the local projects and they can just figure out where the defects are at smaller levels and remove those defects. They understand basic Lean Six Sigma concepts from an awareness perspective. The thing you need to understand is that professionals who earn Lean Six Sigma certification, they become key stakeholders in improving the quality of operations within the organization. That is, it's their job to check the processes to see that they are working fine, to check the services, products and try to optimize them fine. And if you are certified at any level, that indicates that what kind of roles you have to play as an individual, and you are qualified to play in completing projects and promoting quality management practices. If you are certified as a white belt, this means that you have to play certain roles, and if you are certified as a master black belt, then also you have to play certain roles. But ideally what you need to understand is that everyone is trying to achieve the strategic goals of the organization, that is what the organization wants in long term, fine. So training equips professionals to be active participants in optimizing their culture and avoiding downtime. So now companies, why do you think the companies go forward, waste their, use their money and time to train their employees? Because this helps them reduce the number of defects, increase the efficiency of their processes. So belt system has been introduced to judge what is the capability and skill level of the individual, that I have already talked about earlier. But one thing I need to tell you is that if today you are a white belt, that doesn't mean that you will be stuck here throughout your life. You can always enhance your skills and then you can climb up this ladder. And now here I will show you about different belt systems, and I have used a pyramid to just describe the various belt systems. Why I have done this is that you need to understand that how many professionals are required for each level. So if you can see, on the top is a master black belt and that's the tip. This means you don't need hundreds or 200 master black belts in an organization. Fine. So to be a master black belt, you should have mastered the concepts of Lean and Six Sigma and its practices, fine. Then you only get a certificate of master black belt. Either you have 5-year experience as a black belt or you have completed 10 projects. And as a master black belt, you understand the big picture, and this allows you for enterprise-wide solutions, that is, you can solve all the problems of an enterprise. Coming to the black belts, their number is little greater than the master black belts, and their job is they are responsible for managing various teams, that is yellow belts, green belts, white belts. They are the masters of process improvement and statistical analysis, plus they train their teams. For example, if they have certain green belts, so they can train their teams for, like, if they have green belts, they can train them for their processes, right? And then comes green belt. So what you can see is the number is getting bigger. So you need more green belts than black belts. So to be a green belt, you are a certified professional and you are considered as an expert. You must participate in at least one Lean Six Sigma project to be certified. You play an important role in identifying and implementing improvements within the organization. Fine. Coming to the yellow belts, these are the professionals with basic understanding of Lean Six Sigma principles, typically tasked with creating process maps and contribute to data gathering at start of a project. So they have important tasks to do, and then finally this is our bottom, and you can say this is actually the frontline workers who actually carry out all the processes. So they should be white belts, and you know, in advanced countries like in Japan and America, most of the countries, their entire work base is at least white belt certified, you know, because they just believe that quality should be within the quality perspective of all the employees should be very clear. What is expected from them should be very clear. So at white level is for beginners or the people who want to start their journey of Lean Six Sigma. So white belts assist project teams within the organization. So one thing you need to understand is that you can successfully implement Lean or Six Sigma when everyone participates, that is top down from bottom up, and there should be a broad support system throughout the organization. Only then you can say that our Lean Six Sigma implementation has been successful. Now let us discuss each belt in detail so that you have greater knowledge of what are the roles and responsibilities of each belt. Fine. So first let us start with white belt. So it is a beginner's belt in Lean Six Sigma. Ideal for candidates who want to begin their Six Sigma journey, that is, who do not have any kind of knowledge about Lean or Six Sigma or the tools and the methodologies. It is the ideal point of starting. Like, you should be then enrolling for a white belt course and certification program. So white belt range from frontline workers to corporate executives. So these are the people who should go for white belts, right? Training provides basic working knowledge of Lean Six Sigma methodology. That is, the training for white belt would tell you how Lean and Six Sigma work. They will train you about basic tools which you can use in your everyday operations. Once certified, so they assist problem solving teams within the organization and also help instill Lean Six Sigma culture into the workplace and encourage other employees to practice it. Because once they become certified, so they work in certain fashion, and this encourages other people also, so that they should also get certified, because what you can see is that once you start working on Lean or Six Sigma methodology, you automatically, your performances, your efficiency of how you are performing increases. They lend an extra pair of hands and eyes to collect data and offer insight into how certain processes are working. You know, because these are the frontline people, they have actual knowledge of how processes are working. You can call that they are process, like they have knowledge of processes, they are even subject matter expert in some cases. So they can tell you what exactly is happening. And mature organizations train everyone to white belt level. As I have already told you that the organizations which are mature, which are serious about their quality management, they train their 100% employee base to at least white belt level. They are involved in the white belts are involved in projects with other belts to further enhance their experience, because obviously you do not have to stay at white belt level throughout your life. So obviously you enhance your experience so that you can move on to yellow, green and so on. They have basic understanding of Lean Six Sigma methodology, so can identify and eliminate waste. Fine. So this is what white belts are supposed to do. Then coming to yellow belts, so they have basic understanding of quality principles and tools and how they can use them. Fine. They are not experts in Six Sigma or Lean, but have been introduced to the jargon and tools frequently used in the approach. For example, they know how to create process maps, they have basic understanding of the tools, and they can also use certain tools. They receive more than 15 hours training and work under project leaders who are at least green belt or black belt certified. At start of a process, they are tasked with creating process maps, contributing to data gathering and coordinating measurements used in improvement initiatives. So this means they have the knowledge of tools like creating process maps, how to collect data and how to use measurement tools. Fine. So they practice Lean Six Sigma on part-time basis. They are process or subject matter experts. Why they are on the team? Because they have knowledge of the actual working of the process, or they are subject matter experts. They generate improvement ideas for black belts and green belts, and the ultimate target is to go for green belt certification. Now when we talk about both white belts and yellow belts, they are very crucial members of the team, because first they work part-time. They have actual knowledge of how processes are working, so they can give very crucial ideas to the people like who are just implementing the processes, who are implementing new projects like green belts or the black belts. Plus, after the black belts or green belts improve the process, they bring it in the control phase, they hand over this the project to white belts and yellow belts who are actually working on the process. So they are very important people. Let's move further and study who are green belts, what are their jobs and responsibilities, and how you can become a green belt, and similarly for black belts. So green belts are at heart of the action. This means they are the people who are doing most of the work. Most work completed by Six Sigma or Lean teams is performed by the green belts. Certified green belts dedicate 25 to 50% of their working time, that is whatever time they give to an organization, out of that 25 to 50% of the time is given to Six Sigma or Lean projects. They are expert in Six Sigma philosophies and principles, but importantly they are regarded as experts to the process they are implementing. So the green belts are chosen according to the process. If you want to implement a certain process, then you choose the green belt from that particular process, because they have thorough knowledge of that process. Typically, green belts need to get fixed training and have to pass a written exam to get the certification. They must participate in an actual Six Sigma project before becoming certified. So these are the requirements for getting the certification. They play an important role in identifying and implementing improvements through the organization by helping project teams gather and analyze data. This is their job, the green belt's job, to find out that where the organization needs maximum improvements. So what they do is that they help project teams to gather data and then analyze that data and find out that which projects are important, because you know in each organization there are many projects which need improvement, but we have to prioritize. So how do we do that? The green belts do that. So when the project teams gather data, they analyze it and choose which project needs maximum attention. This helps minimize variation in order to produce higher quality goods and services. They possess strong analytical skills and are able to communicate at all levels of the organization. That is, from the senior management to the frontline workers, they can communicate with anyone, everyone and anyone. Plus they have strong analytical skills. This means they can understand data, they can understand figures and what they actually want to do with them. This level of training is often applicable for employees working in quality assurance role or mid to upper level management role. So who are the people who should get green belt certification? So they are the employees working in quality assurance or who are working at the role of a mid to upper level management. Fine. And training is valuable for individuals in roles like project management, financial management, hospitality, and it gives them understanding of various tools. To just name a few, they have like failure mode and effect analysis, control charts, then balance scorecard. They have these are the tools for which green belts are trained for. Then coming to black belts. So black belts serve as leaders for managing multiple teams made up of green, yellow and white belts. They practice Lean Six Sigma on full-time basis, that's their full-time job. They should be green belt before obtaining the black belt certification, plus they have to pass written exam, plus complete 2 authentic projects. So these are the requirements to get the black belt certification. should possess mastery of process improvement and statistical analysis techniques. So, they should be masters of these techniques. They should have strong people skills, they should have like strong communication skills, they should know how to get the work done and act as effective leader and mentor for project team members, because sometimes black belts have to train on certain aspects, like they have to train their teams. Like if there is one black belt, so they might have 5 or 6 green belts and yellow belts under them. So, sometimes they have to teach them certain techniques, so they should be able to do that. They should be good decision makers and ensure their project team stay on track and meet deadlines. This is very important, because if black belts don't take this initiative, then you know what happens is that the projects go on forever. But usually Lean or Six Sigma projects have a maximum timeline of 6 to 8 months. They should be finished within this time span. So, this is the responsibility of black belt. They should take care that this is done. They are change agents and identify areas for improvement. So, these are the roles and responsibilities of a black belt. Finally, coming to who are master black belts, what are their jobs and responsibilities. So, as the title itself suggests or indicates that an employee has completed extensive training and testing, who has mastered the concepts of Lean and Six Sigma and practices their craft with exceptional discipline, focus and skill. So, these are the people who thoroughly understand what Lean and Six Sigma philosophies are and how they should be implemented. So, they serve as mentors to black belts and green belts as well as other team members. So, they also serve as the trainers in case black belts, green belts or other team members need some kind of suggestion, help with tools. So, they are the people who give the training. They are tasked with identifying potential projects. As I have already told you that in each organization there are various projects first of all which need attention. So, they first prioritize which project they should take, and then if like there are 3 or 4 improvement projects going on, so they are not just focused on one project. So, any team member like a black belt from any team member, any team who are heading certain improvement projects in an organization can go to a master black belt for help. And the certification requires 5-year experience. So, if you want to become a master black belt, so you need 5-year experience at black belt level, or you have to complete 10 projects, fine. They do not function full time on any one particular project, fine. As I already told you, if 5 improvement projects are going on in an organization at a time, so any leader, green belt, black belt can go to the master black belt with their troubles, with the issues they are facing, so that they can get help. So, they act as internal consultant for multiple teams and help them overcome technical obstacles and answer their procedural questions. This allows them to see the big pictures of organizations' quality improvement efforts. So, they see that whether the quality improvement efforts being undertaken are they aligned with the organization's strategic goals or not. This is their job. They need to have excellent communication skills, because obviously they have to communicate with all type of members, the black belts, the green belts and even the yellow belts, and they have to provide team members with advice and counsel them to enhance their performance. So, that is why they need excellent communication skills. And finally, this one I did not mention earlier, but we also have a champion or a sponsor. So, basically champion is an upper level manager who leads Lean Six Sigma strategy and deployment. So, these are the people who see that how the things are going on in the entire organization based on the objectives set by the executive leadership, that whatever like for example, the leadership have set certain goals for the next 5 years. So, based on those goals, champions ensure that all initiatives to lower waste and remove defects come together in alignment with the company's need for growth. So, these are the people who see that what has the leadership decided for next 5 or 10 years, what are their strategic goals, and then they see that whether the projects currently being undertaken are aligned with these goals or not. So they are aided by master black belts. These managers mentor the leaders involved in Lean Six Sigma implementation and track the progress of the projects being undertaken. So by now I think that I have given you complete information about each belt, what is required, like what kind of qualification is required for what belt system, and now I think so you won't be asking me again that whether we can directly become a whether we can directly go in for green belt or can we directly go for a black belt, because now you know that what is required. So finally I think so I have answered all your questions, and here I am going to end the section 3.